Hey. Hi everyone, welcome to the Neeky Podcast. My name's Itanna. This is Fadma.
I'm Fadma, yeah.
How are you doing, Fadma?
Good.
Nice,
Thanks for inviting me on here.
No, it's my pleasure, Like,
Yeah.
I know you really love film and TV and stuff like that, and you actually work in film and TV.
Yeah, I work in the TV industry right now for like an entertainment production company based in London, yeah.
So what made you want to like get into that?
Good question. Because my academic background is not in film and TV. It's I actually studied science, I studied physics at university.
Wait, whoa. How do we go from physics to film and TV? That's crazy.
I know.
You're basically a genius. You don't just study physics.
Mad.
That's wild.
It's mad. Whether it was a good decision or not, I don't know. But yeah, when I was younger, I just had like a dream of becoming like an astrophysicist or like astronomer or something. I was really into space.
Okay.
And I just wanted to become a scientist, and then that's why I did it. And then I got to university, and then you just realize that the reality of studying it is just way different. It's very much glamorized.
Yeah, I feel like because I did physics at A level, and I didn't get as far as you, because when I was in A level, I was like, this is cool, but I don't understand. Like my desire to learn is not matching my results. Like we would be doing experiments and stuff. And I'm like, why am I not doing it correctly? Everyone else seems to understand this. So I think it's kind of like being a professional athlete in a way. Like you get to a certain point, you're like, oh wait, nah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And you just figure out whether you're actually, it doesn't really make sense, but like whether your brain is set up in a way to be able to study it, like excel at it. And then I realized when I got to uni, it was very much, it's so theoretical, and most of it is maths based. Like you have to learn so many equations, theorems. And if your brain is not good at thinking in that way, or if your brain can't naturally think in that way, then you're probably not going to enjoy it in like the long run.
That's wild. I actually can't believe you study physics. That's insane.
I know.
I have like a whole new level of respect for you. That's wild. I don't know anyone who studied physics at university. No, actually, I know one, but still, like that's just two people. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, it was definitely, I'm proud of myself for doing it. I got a 2-1 in the end, so I'm proud. But then, it just made me realize that during my studies, I just lost my passion for like wanting to become a scientist. And then I knew I was passionate about film and TV and popular culture in general. So like I managed to get into the TV industry somehow.
Okay, that's pretty cool. What advice would you give to people who are trying to break into that industry?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say I feel like there's lots of schemes and like internships where they're specifically looking for people from ethnic minority backgrounds to apply for them. I mean, obviously there could be way more than there are at the moment, but I happened to find one back in 2018 that was run by this thing called the Film Distributors Association. They're based in London.
Okay.
And like they were basically running like these 10 to 12 month placements with distributors based in London. And I just like applied to that on a whim. I was like trying to apply for any internships I could find at that time. And then one day like they got back to me and said I had an interview with Studio Canal.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I feel like I've heard of those before.
Yeah, you've heard of them. They're owned by a French company, so they're actually owned by Canal Plus. So they're based in France, but they've got offices like in Europe as well, in Germany, in the UK.
Do they make indie films? I feel like
they make indie films.
I'm just trying to think of.
They've recently released, I think it's come out now, a film about Amy Winehouse.
I saw that. Yeah. I didn't see the film, but I saw that was released.
But it's they do like a lot of they distribute a lot of. Do you know a production company called Working Title?
No.
So they've made films like I just think of Hugh Grant because Hugh Grant's been in a lot of their films, like Love Actually and like I'm trying to think of any other films that he's been in.
Bridget Jones.
Like Yeah, I guess, is that a working title film? I can't
Which
remember.
they're making another one, I think.
Are they?
Yeah, I remember seeing that on Twitter.
Wow.
I'm kind of gassed, but I'm not really. Like, I feel
Does
like
that need a remake?
this
like,
is
honestly?
the thing. They always do these remakes, like with Rush Hour 4, where it's like these actors are so old now. We don't even want to see these stories now. Like you should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh wow, they're like already remaking things that came out 20 years ago, and
It's a bit wild.
I don't know if it's time for it yet. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, no, they do a lot of like British independent
That's pretty cool.
cinema. So yeah, I went off on a tangent there. But yeah, I worked for them for like around 10 months, I think. And that was my way into the industry. So it is hard as like a young person from a minority background, but like, you know, just keep trying and you'll find a way to get in for sure. It's also about who you know as well, which makes it that much more difficult.
I feel like that's with everything in general, but yeah, especially within film and TV, I feel like that's a very important factor, like who you know and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, very strange background, right?
It is a bit wild. Like, it's not the craziest thing I've ever heard of, but it's from physics to film and TV is... You're basically like Amy Farrah Fowler from The Big Bang Theory. The actress herself was, she's a neuroscientist, and then she actually appeared on the TV show. So
yeah, she did. I totally forgot about that.
That's wild. Like if you became an actor now and you won an Oscar, that would be like that would be your inspiration story for everyone. Like, she studied physics, but you never know how life's gonna turn out, and now she's an Academy Award winner. Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
That sounds like such a pipe dream, but yeah, that would be incredible. But yeah, whenever I tell people, they're pretty shocked. They have exactly the same reaction as you do.
That is well done. Honestly, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, as someone who's in like working in film and TV, what would you say is your most like favorite TV show out right now? I know we spoke about Free Body Problem before.
Yeah.
Which I've recently watched up until episode 7. I haven't finished episode 8, but already I'm hooked. After the first episode, it's crazy. Like the first episode is a wild way to start a series, like setting the Cultural Revolution of like Mao communist China is wild, and it made me want to even research that part of like China itself. So which is I really enjoyed. But yeah, the first episode it's a banger. Yeah,
it's pretty good. I think. At the start, because I went into it blind, like I didn't know what it was about at all. So I didn't really know why it kicked off in like communist China, like back in the day in China. Didn't really know where it was going, but it's based on a book. Do you know that?
Yeah, it's based on like 3 books. So the first one's called Free Body Problem. I think the next one is called like the Death Awakening, something like that. But they're all 3 books, and it's by like this Chinese author and stuff like that. Yeah. And I remember reading online that some people were kind of concerned because like the original book is set in China and it features all Chinese characters, and they kind of race swapped. So this is like the second TV series they've done. They've done a Chinese one, but then they did this one, and some people were concerned that they race swapped a lot of the characters and stuff like that. But I thought it was amazing. Like it's a really, really good story in my opinion. But there are certain characters that just, I don't know what their issue is, but they just, they fumbled with Augie and Saw and Will. I feel like those 3 characters were not needed in the show. I'm sorry.
And the whole love story with Will and... It was Will, right? And Jin and...
Will was the one that had cancer. Yeah. And his brain... Wait.
There was like a love triangle between him and Jin
and Raj.
And her,
I thought that was weird because it's like... In one episode, they were all saying, go tell Jin how you feel. I'm like, this girl already has a boyfriend. He even says it himself, like, she has a boyfriend. This was just such terrible advice from his friends. Like what?
It was, they were kind of setting him up to fail.
That's what I was thinking. And I'm like, you've just found out there's aliens and you're telling me to go tell the girl. Like, they were not focused whatsoever. I was actually quite disappointed.
I feel like we should provide some context for the listeners who haven't seen it.
Yeah. Okay, so
for anyone that hasn't seen
Free Body
Problem.
Free Body Problem is a TV show based around like
it's made by the makers of Game of Thrones as well.
Yes, actually, which is very surprising because they fumbled season 8, and I was very disappointed by that. But yeah, Free Body Problem is about an alien species that has made contact with Earth through radio communications. They contact this one scientist in China. She tells them to come, but she receives a message from like a pacifist from the alien world who tells them that, yo, look, if we come, we want to destroy your world. So I don't think you should be sending these messages anymore. She's like, okay, say no more. You guys should come anyway because we kind of suck. So they are setting their like whole fleet to come for like 400 years because I think that's the time it takes between their world and our world. And then, yeah, it just kind of goes through that whole plot point. Like it is pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's one of the best British TV series I've seen.
Oh, you think so?
In a while.
Okay.
Especially for Netflix. I'm not going to say of all time. That's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's very complex though as well. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's sci-fi. So it's like they do use actual like scientific, like physical laws in it.
Yeah.
But
oh, so that must be crazy for you because you probably already know.
I understood a lot of the laws and the theories that they mentioned.
That's wild.
Yeah. But you have to remember at the end of the day, it is like
science fiction.
It is science fiction, so it's not
completely
they're
true.
trying to make it sound like it's fathomable in a way, but yeah, it's sci-fi at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, but that whole thing about light years and like phonons, like the actual like their
so the whole sophon thing
things.
is
sophon is not. I don't think it's a thing.
That's the whole thing of like when they made a supercomputer that was in the size of a proton.
Yeah,
they lost me with that. Like, I just went along with it. I was like, what the hell does that even mean? Like what?
I think that's where they kind of blur the boundary between like actual science and then made up stuff. Yeah. That sounds like it could be actual science.
Yeah, I thought so as well. Because when they were like, we made 4, but then we sent 2 straight towards you. I was like, what? Like, so if you guys could do this, how are you not survive? Like, why didn't you just go to a different what? Like, it was...
Yeah. That twist, though, what... Because I watched it a while ago now, but do you find that out at the end of episode... You know, when the Santi tell them that they sent, like, two sophons?
That's episode 5 or 6, I believe.
Yeah.
That's episode 6, because that happens when Wade and Jin puts on the game helmet, right?
Yeah.
And they meet the AI or the Sophon, and they like tell them like, yo, look, we've sent these 2 things to your world, and this is gonna happen. Like we've already known everything that you've been up to, so there's no point in you trying to fight back.
Yeah.
So like we've disabled all of your science stuff because we know that if you guys continue to make scientific innovations, you're gonna do much. Like you're gonna destroy us by the time we come there. So we're trying to sabotage you before you even come, which is crazy because they're just telling this stuff because they can't lie.
Yeah,
which I think is such an interesting plot point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
like
it's not like it's not a behavioral. Obviously, they're not humans. So.
Yeah,
and then when they found out that humans do have that trait,
scene was so scary, and I don't understand.
Is that when Mike is talking to?
Yeah, because
the Lord or
how do you mess up reading Little Red Riding Hood to someone and just give away the whole like what? That's wild. Literally reading a fairy tale and they're like, oh wait, you guys can do this. Nah, we can't coexist with you anymore. We're gonna have to just take you out. That kind of scared me. Like the whole thing of we are afraid of you, and then just silence. If I was Mike, I would have left.
That was so freaky.
I would have left
the end of that episode. I think that was the end of the episode, wasn't it?
Yeah,
when that happened. And it's just that silence just like totally creeps you out.
I don't know what he was thinking. Like I don't know what he expected, especially from I can't remember her name properly. Ye Wen-ji. Yeah, Ye Wen-ji. When she received the first message, they literally told her, "Look, if we come, we're gonna kill you."
It was someone that was. They were calling themselves a pacifist, so it was someone that was trying to like save the human race.
And it's like they're not lying because they can't lie. So why would you think otherwise? I don't know what they thought was gonna happen. That was so weird to me because she originally wanted the world to be destroyed, but then it was like as she got older, she was like, no, we can maybe save a little bit of humanity. But I was like, no, that's
the thing is
not how it's gonna work.
With this though, you have to really like deep it and think about what she went through at that time. Do you remember? Like she witnessed her dad getting killed.
That was wild.
By I can't remember what was going on politically in China.
It was
at that time.
the Red Guard because it was a struggle thing. So I researched this yesterday because I was like really interested in why that was happening. So during, I think, like Mao Communist China, during the Cultural Revolution, there was this thing of like 4 olds, get rid of the old religion, the old ways, all this type of stuff. And you had these Red Guards who were like a group of young people who were like devoted to Mao and Maoism itself. And they were just like trying to enforce these rules. So a lot of political leaders, a lot of academics were like being persecuted and stuff. So they would have these kind of like public spectacles of where, that's why he was wearing the sign. And it's like, yo, like, it's just to shame them. I don't think they meant to kill him. But at the same time, I don't know what they expected when they were all hitting him with belts. So I was like, you guys knew, like, why don't you just chill? Like, yeah.
And then it just took that one fatal blow from that. I can't remember her name. It was
the young girl who got her arm cut off.
Yeah. Oh God.
She deserved that. I wasn't sad. Like, I actually wasn't sad. I was kind of happy when I saw that.
It was like the thing with Ye Wen-je. It was like one of those things where, like, when she made contact with the aliens, it was just the wrong person to have made contact with them. Like, she's in a place where obviously she hates all other humans, but because of that particular situation she was in, and that political situation that she was in China, she was just like fed up of she really had like some sort of vendetta against the human race.
I understood.
Like, come over because we can't save ourselves.
That's the thing. I understood her motivations at that point, but then as she got older, she must have realized that this was never gonna go. Like, when they had the ship, the Judgment Day ship, and they had all those people there and all those kids, I was just thinking, what are you guys doing?
Oh yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You're not gonna be able to save people. Like, this isn't Noah's Ark. Like, they're gonna kill everyone.
Oh, they literally thought it was Noah's Ark.
That's the thing. It was so weird because I was like, why are you having kids, raising kids on this like oil tanker ship? Yeah. Thinking that the aliens are gonna come and just leave you guys alone. No, like, no.
I think that was just, it basically turned into like a cult, didn't it?
Exactly. I think that's exactly what it was near towards the end. Especially the way they would even like refer to the aliens like our Lord and stuff. I'm thinking, what?
Yeah, just all these people like indoctrinated into believing that this was like, this alien race was what was going to save the planet. And all because this guy wanted to save a bird species. Like, I feel like I was actually so upset at his motivations because I was thinking, not even humanity, you just want to save a bit. Yeah, no, it's just so mad.
I couldn't believe that.
It's so mad. But that's how cults start, you know, like there's always this one leader that's like charismatic and whatever, that everyone just ends up. And they I don't know, obviously everyone who starts to believe them is already kind of lost in life and I guess trying to look for meaning.
It didn't really help when they could like make the whole stars flicker and stuff like that. Like that would have messed me up. Like, that would have been like, wait, this is a bit crazy. Maybe we should reconsider this whole science thing. And like, that was the way they would do it, the way the alien species were doing the miracles and stuff like that. I can understand why some people were swayed a bit, but at the end of the day, like, if they have the power to do this, they must be dangerous. You have to wipe them out. That's just logic. I'm sorry, that was ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah. And what did you think of that? I don't know if you've seen that episode yet, where the Judgment Day ship gets to Panama.
Oh my!
You seen it, right?
Gosh. And the thing is,
wow,
you don't watch anime, do you?
No, I don't.
You need to.
I should start though. Yeah. You
need to watch this anime called Jujutsu Kaisen because there's this one character, and you'll know when you watch it. That's all I could think of when I saw the ship get sliced into pieces. It was wild, like
so crazy. Yeah.
And the scientist who made that stuff, she should have known already that there was going to be some sort of weaponization of this, of this scientific invention. I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know why she was so upset. I mean, I understand it, but it's like, you should have already known that this was going to happen. Like, this is wild. You made a blade that no one can see that can cut through anything. Diamonds even, Yeah,
wild. I think, she just had a whole, like, internal crisis, didn't she? With like, her morals. And, Oggy, but that was wild. I think that's when it came, like, I remembered it was made by the makers of Game of Thrones because I was like, this violent.
Is so unnecessary to see. Like, I didn't understand why I was seeing people just being chopped in half. Like.
It was just, I think that actually haunted my nightmares after I'd seen it. Literally.
Because even Mike, he tried to escape. He jumped down. I'm not sure if you remember. He jumped down from like this railing. Yeah, and then he landed awkward and just broke his ankle. I was like, oh my God. Like, the ankle break was even worse to me than the whole him getting sliced up. It was...
There was no way he was escaping that though. I mean, as the ship was moving through the nanofibers, right?
Once the alien said, like, just stopped communicating, I would have turned the ship around. Like, I would have just gone home. Like, yo, guys, that's it. We're done. Forget about all of this Lord stuff. Let's just all go back to our regular lives, because that's insane. Yeah. And they knew that was going to happen to them. Mm-hmm.
But what an ambush. That was genius.
Yeah.
That was just...
It really was. It really, really was.
Yeah. But yeah, the series is, I don't know, for me, it's, you can tell like they had like a huge budget for it. But...
Where would you rank it in terms of like favorite British TV shows or favorite Netflix shows?
Oh, favorite Netflix shows.
Not counting Korean dramas, because I know that's like an
No. I feel like that's just a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't hold them to the same standard.
I need to start watching them. Other
dramas.
Yeah.
I mean, normally I'm not actually, surprisingly, I'm not really that into sci-fi. Like, it's not my genre. Normally.
Do you know, this is very surprising considering that you study physics, but it makes sense. Go on.
Yeah. I'm more into shows that are based in reality, but this was, I mean, it was still pretty good. I just feel that there's this like certain quality to Netflix shows where, I mean, first of all, I feel like their IP that it was based on was pretty, it's like a very dense book and a dense story. And it's like, I think I was reading that like, was there already an adaptation made of this before?
There was a Chinese one, yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like there'd been, I think I read that some filmmakers had tried to adapt this into like an English language version before, but they'd failed because it's really hard to bring this to screen.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good job of bringing it to screen, but I think it's just the pacing. I feel like they didn't really let things breathe in the series.
You think there should have been more episodes?
I think maybe they should have, because I think season 1 was based on the first book, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I feel that maybe they could have let things just breathe a bit more. Like, we could have maybe found out about that alien race. Like, it just, did you not think the pacing was a bit too quick?
I liked it was a lot of, I felt like they made the TV series assuming that everyone, like, because the book is famous, but I felt like they made it assume that everyone knew about this book. Like, it was Harry Potter. Like, we all already knew like certain details.
That's true, yeah.
So there were certain things that were left out, like with the whole helmet thing and like the whole video game, how that was supposed to be an introduction to like the alien race and how like they've been dying throughout each civilization and stuff. That was weird. I felt, like I said, the relationship between Oggy and Saul was just weird. Like, there were points where she would call him when she was going, like, there was this one episode, I think it was episode 2 or 3. She's turned on the whole nanofiber stuff, right? Because they told her, like, if you turn it on, the numbers will come back, the countdown to your death will come back, and she'll see that.
Yeah.
She turns it on. She sees the numbers. She turns it back off. Then she calls Saul, and she's like, oh my gosh, I turned it back on, and the numbers came. And he rightfully says, why did you turn it back on? You like, they told you not to, because otherwise you will die. And you can see he's clearly frustrated, but he's tired. She understands that she's upset. She starts crying. Then she hears that there's a woman in the background, and then she just hangs up the phone on him. And I'm like, so why did you call him in the like? Their relationship was so jarring to me because
I remember that scene. Yeah,
there was no context to it. I didn't understand if they were actually dating or not, or they were already in a relationship beforehand, and now they're in this. Like, it was just weird to me.
It was weird because like they alluded to the fact that there was history between them, right? Because obviously it was like they were all a bunch of friends at Oxford Uni, and then they kind of like made it seem like they somewhat fancied each other, or that something had definitely happened between them. Like, and nothing ever happened to them.
And that's the thing. I felt like we didn't get enough context between like the friendship group to me, because as much as I liked Jack, I didn't understand how because it seemed like they all had studied science to a certain degree, and then just some of them stopped, some of them continued. Like Vera, I think, introduced some of them to science, but then others didn't. Like, it was very weird to me. I feel like we should have got more context behind the friendship group itself. A couple of flashbacks.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
Yeah. See, look, this is what I mean by giving the series like more breathing space, because I think they'd added some characters that weren't in the book, right? I think they've kind of like completely made it their own. I
tried to read the characters' names in the book. It was a lot of Chinese, so I couldn't really remember.
But it wasn't like the setup wasn't about like a bunch of friends who went to the same uni.
No, it wasn't actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. There were certain characters, but like I think there were certain original characters that were added to the story.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they could have done with some like flashback scenes of their younger selves at uni. To kind of just provide more context, because
they did it for Ye.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. I really enjoyed those scenes. I think I enjoyed those scenes more than like the current day scenes in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah, they definitely should have added more context to that.
And that's what I mean. It's like if you've got a series that's 8-hour episodes and it's like 50, like an hour each, right?
Yeah.
I think they were trying to fit so much in. That really they could have split this into 2 seasons.
I mean, it's the creators of Game of Thrones. So like I guess this is where it comes down to. Like, these guys just haven't learned their lesson whatsoever. And
we'd have been more invested in the characters as well. Like if we learn about like how they even became like who they are today.
100%.
And the relationships between them. And it's like, why was Will so in love with Jin? Like I don't know.
It was so forced to me. I was like, bro, just get over it. Like, you've got more important things to be worrying about right now.
Instead of like just pining for the same girl for
like, this is the thing. And they dropped us into it as if we understood their relationship, how long they were together for. And they were all like, oh fuck. They were all like, forget Raj and stuff. And I'm like, but Raj is a cool guy. Like, what's wrong with Raj? Like, I didn't it was just weird to me. Yeah, I didn't understand it. I thought it was weird. I thought it was very strange.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's I think it was good, but yeah, just too much happening, too much they tried to fit into it.
And I think what you said as well about the whole give us more like context, expand more. I feel like that's a big problem of mine, like TV right now, especially with Netflix, because they always give us these even in animated stuff, they always give us like between 5 to 8 episodes of TV, and it's like that's not enough. And the seasons will be like 3 years apart, so it's like, unless it's like The Bear, which is an amazing TV show.
Oh, The Bear, we could literally talk about.
The Bear is one of my favorite. I binge watched all of season 1 and season 2, like between I think January and February. I love that show so much.
I watched it last year when season 2 came out.
But the thing is, the pacing between The Bear, even though it's only a short amount of episodes, like Free Body Problem, I feel like they do the pacing a lot better. Like we are more, the characters are more developed, even though it's not like an overarching story. But like there's a short amount of time, the characters are more developed, and I feel like you can do that with certain things, but you can't do that if you have an overarching story like Free Body Problem. Even with Stranger Things, I don't think it was only 8 episodes. So if you're going to do a short amount of episodes in a series, you have to make the episodes longer than 1 hour or longer than 40 minutes, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I think, The Bear is more of like, it's a drama, I guess. It's not based on anything.
Yeah.
And I guess it's written in a way where it's more of like a character study.
Yeah.
And versus correct. Like, this is about an actual like, a book and it's science fiction, and it's not really. I guess it's not really about
the characters
delving
themselves.
Into the characters' minds.
There's a lot of not exposition, but there's a lot of stuff to kind of get the audience to understand within Free Body Problem. So I think
yeah, it was so complex, wasn't it?
But what do you think? Like, what is your biggest thing that you hate about like movies or TVs in general?
That I hate about them.
Yeah. Like just nowadays. I can list like a bunch of mine.
It's I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of a tricky time in the industry at the moment. I think like you mentioned before, there's a lot of remakes being done.
Yeah.
and
Even in anime, which is
yeah,
not necessarily remakes, but there's a lot of either cancellations or things just become very unstable, so they have to cancel it anyway. But yeah, go on.
I just think that I'm trying to think of last year's big releases.
Oppenheimer,
Like Oppenheimer and Barbie.
I still haven't seen both.
Oh, really?
I watched a bit of Barbie.
You didn't do Barbenheimer?
No, I mean, I was in Japan at the time, and they definitely weren't showing Oppenheimer over there. Like, that... I shouldn't laugh, but they definitely weren't showing Oppenheimer in Japan. That's crazy. And the thing is, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, why haven't they shown it yet? Like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense. You can't be making a film about a bomb and then just, release it.
About atomic bombs.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy.
No, I understand that now.
Across the Spider-Verse as well. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually haven't. I haven't seen the second one.
We might have to cancel the whole show right now. Like,
this is so bad. I know. It's been on my list for so long. I know.
Across the Spider-Verse
I'm
is
ashamed.
The best animated film I've ever seen in my life. Those two films, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, are one of my favorites.
Do you know, when I get back home, like later, I will watch it.
You definitely
I will make
should.
it a point to watch it. I still can't believe I haven't seen it yet. But I mean, I've seen the first one. It was pretty good.
Yeah. And the second one's even better than the first. I can't believe you. But yeah, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Across the Spider-Verse. I can't remember what else other than those three films. I feel like because of the strikes, we didn't get...
Yeah, I think... I mean, there were quite a few that came out. I'm into watching a lot of, like, art house stuff as well, like independent cinema that doesn't really get shouted about. So I did... Wait, do you know a director called Ari Aster? Do you watch any horror?
I don't like horror movies just because I don't feel like they're scary to me anymore. Like, I feel like they're very... Like, the one horror movie that I've watched in a while was, is it Don't Breathe?
Don't Breathe.
Where the blind guy, they tried to rob the blind guy's house and then he ends up killing the three people there, which I thought was insane, but it's a very, very good movie. That and Split.
Split, yeah. Split I watched a long time ago, actually. That's by M. Night I never know how to say his name.
Wow.
Shyamalan.
Wow. M. Night Shyamalan. That's
Shyamalan, yeah.
Yeah, it was... I think James McAvoy deserved an Oscar for that performance. It was a bit...
Oh, he really went in.
He's actually a phenomenal actor. I feel like he's very underrated.
He's underrated. I think he's actually one of my favorites, but I feel like he's very selective with his roles though, which is why you don't really see him that much anymore, which I kind of like. Because
he's done all the big franchise stuff of X-Men, which after First Class and maybe Days of Future Past started to be quite bad.
Yeah. But no, going back to horror, I was going to mention... So have you seen... So Ari Aster is like... He's a director that kind of broke out a few years ago because his films are not like traditional horror films. They're more... I think he's only released 3 films so far.
Okay.
But then he did come out with like his debut film that wasn't really like properly distributed back in the day. But it's more like psychological horror. They really get into your mind. They're not like gore or like slasher or like, the basic sort of horror. But his first film was called Hereditary. It was distributed by A24.
I've never heard of that. But if it's been distributed by A24, then I might have to watch it because ever since Everything Everywhere All at Once, I've been interested in their films.
Oh my God, A24, I think they only were founded in like 2012, I want to say.
Yeah.
So they've been around for, 12 years now? But they're doing so well. I'm obsessed with A24.
I think they only started to produce films in like 2020, right? Like they were a distributor for films, but now they start to produce films like very recently, like 2019, 2020.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And I just feel like their choice in they distribute like incredible films. Like they just never go wrong.
They're making they've made Civil War, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think so. I know that they're distributing it, but I don't know
If they produced it.
if they produced it. Yeah. But that's the new film by Alex Garland, which I may or may not see today. But
I kind of want to watch it, but I don't know if I would enjoy it. Like,
yeah.
I haven't seen any trailers for it. I don't know what I'm assuming the premise is a civil war between the United States, but
Yeah.
I don't know what I would expect watching it. Like, I need to watch a trailer first because I know nothing about the film.
No, see the trailer first for sure. But Alex Garland is someone. Sorry, I'll go back to Ari Aster.
No,
but
cool.
Alex Garland, have you seen his previous films like Annihilation?
No.
That was, I think, that came out on Netflix with Natalie Portman. It had like quite a good cast, like a good female cast, and that is a sci-fi film, which I think you'll like.
I only do that phase because Netflix movies can be very.
No, it is. Thing is, yeah, I think it did come out on Netflix. It's not any Netflix film because I think if for any film that has like an auteur director like Alex Garland, it won't really have that Netflix quality to it.
Okay.
So it is distinctive.
Because I've seen Red,
the rest,
and that was what is it? Is it Red or Red Notice with Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and what's her name? I can't remember her name, but she's a terrible actress. She was in Fast and Furious. She played Wonder Woman as well. Oh my gosh,
Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, she's a terrible actress. But yeah, I've seen Red Notice, and that is a Netflix film. And a lot of Netflix movies have this quality that you can just tell they're Netflix movies. They're very, very bad, like home movies, but just put on Netflix. But if you say it's good, I'll give it a try.
It's good, honestly. I think he's a good director. But so yeah, I think there's a lot of hype around Civil War because of the talent behind it. But yeah, going back to Ari Aster, Hereditary. I mean, just brace yourself before you go and watch this film because it will really get into your head. Like, I'm being serious about this.
Okay,
it is very creepy.
Okay, I don't mind. Do you know what? I actually prefer those type of things because the whole demon and like ghouls and all that type of stuff, the whole fantasy side of horror is kind of played out for me. So the more psychological ones, the ones where it's like a thriller almost, are very, very good.
I mean, there may be a demon or two in this, to be honest.
You seem like what's the point? What is the point, man?
No, but it's not just that. I think it's more his horror films tend to be based in like the psychology of humans and human behavior. So this film is really kind of examining family dynamics as well. Okay. And grief. Okay. So there's a lot more to it.
So now where does the demon fall? Like this is the thing that's already,
I don't want to spoil it for you.
I'm pissed off because like how does the demon fit into this? I'm gonna have to watch it now because this doesn't make any sense.
I think you watch it, but maybe watch like an episode of Friends after when you're done. Okay. Or something. Don't watch it late at night, I would say. Because it is pretty like freaky. I mean, it doesn't play with like the normal horror tropes, I think, which is why I like his films. And then his second film was called Midsommar.
Oh,
which,
with
I've heard of that one.
Is that with Will Poulter?
Yeah, Will Poulter. Yeah. Florence Pugh.
Isn't that why she became isn't like her not breakout role, but like one of her famous roles?
She was starting to get. I think she was like a rising star at that point. Yeah, this was before she was cast in like, Black Widow, or I think she had been cast in it.
She was in Black Widow, Hawkeye, Oppenheimer, Wells.
Oh, she's been in loads of stuff.
Yeah, Dune. She's had like a fantastic year.
She's having an incredible career.
To be in like Dune 2 and also in Oppenheimer as well it's a bit wild, but yeah.
Yeah, no, she's a great actress. I mean, I knew she would kind of follow this sort of trajectory because I'd seen her in things like Lady Macbeth. She was in like this independent.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
She's great in it. Okay. She's like, she knows how to hold a film, and I think that film is what piqued other directors' interest in her. Yeah. She's a really talented actress. But yeah, Midsommar, I think William Jackson Harper, is that his name? that actor.
I haven't seen the movie. William Jackson Harper.
Yeah, he was in this comedy called, I think, The Good Place. It was called.
No, I definitely haven't heard of that name. William, hold on, let me search him up.
You'll recognize his face, but he is like a pretty good actor.
Oh yeah. The Good Place on Netflix. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is on Netflix, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's in Midsommar.
Yeah, but he's in Midsommar. It's like it's a really good cast, but I think Florence Pugh does carry that film, all by herself. But that is, again, I don't know if you read like the plot for that one.
I remember listening to a song from the soundtrack because I don't know where I found that song from. Maybe it was on TikTok, but the song was amazing. So that made me like read about the movie, like just the bare minimum details. I think it's based around like a cult, right?
Yeah.
And I know they're wearing like all white and stuff like that. And then I think there's like some sort of killing ritual that she either knows about or she like finds herself in the midst of. It's a bit wild.
Yeah, so I think basically they find themselves in Sweden because her boyfriend studies, I can't remember what he studies. I want to say like anthropology or something like that. But he's writing a thesis about this community that lives in Sweden. I think, or I might be wrong, but one of his mates at uni or at college in America is Swedish. So he invites him back to like his community, like somewhere in the woods. And really what you don't know is that, and this is a spoiler, but like they sacrifice people, outsiders. But
this sounds like my type of movie. I really want to watch it now.
Oh yeah, I mean I have spoiled it for you now.
No,
but
it's fine.
I mean,
it's fine. It's an old movie. Like
it's a horror movie. You know where it's going, and
people
I think
are gonna die.
It was heavily inspired by, what's that film called? Is it The Wicker Man? There's already a film that came out like decades ago that was around the same sort of concept of like a pagan like ritual, this like community that live in the woods and stuff. So it was like heavily inspired by it.
Okay.
So you kind of see where it's headed. But it plays on that theme of like she's going through grief, and I don't know whether to like say any more.
You can spoil it because
it.
I'm still gonna watch it regardless. Like if it's an old movie, I'll throw it on whilst I'm eating.
Yeah,
or something like that.
I mean, you find out in the first 5 minutes what happens to her, and like something horrible happens to her that would literally rattle anyone like psychologically. Like I don't know how she's like something awful happens to her.
I feel like I can really
in her personal life.
Yeah, what happens?
And so like the only person that she's got in her life now is her boyfriend, and like she really leans on him, and they've got like this codependent relationship. And it all starts to go wrong from there because her boyfriend is not he wants to break up with her, right?
Okay.
And she's in this like awful place, so he's only staying with her to kind of give her that support. But he's already checked out of this relationship. And you should just watch it. And let me know what you think.
I'll watch it today. I'll watch that, and I'll watch what's the other one you said? Annihilation.
Hereditary. Annihilation.
I'll watch Hereditary first. You know what? I can't watch 2 horror movies back to back.
No.
That might scare me. I'll watch Hereditary first, and I'll watch Annihilation. No, Midsommar tomorrow.
Okay, that's a lot of horror in 2 days.
I haven't watched horror in ages, just because, like I said before, I'm really not into the whole demonic stuff. Like it's so boring because either the CGI is poor, or the story or background of the whole demon is poor, and it's like the only thing that's kind of involved the demon that I've been scared of has been Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers is one of the most scariest films. I think till now I can't watch that by myself.
I've not seen it.
It's Jeepers Creepers.
Is that like an oldie or?
Maybe, but it felt kind of newish. It was Jeepers Creepers 1, which was, I think, is quite old. Jeepers Creepers 2 is the newish one. When I think newish, I'm talking about like 2007 or 5 newish.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's based around this demon that wakes up every 33 years.
Oh God,
I think
you've already.
No, but like when I say it's horrific, it's like Final Destination type of horrific. Like Jeepers Creepers 2. Has probably scarred me for life, but I love it. It's a really good horror movie, and since watching stuff like that and The Omen, like those two movies, if it doesn't stack up to that, then it's just not scary to me. It's just really not.
Yeah. I think these are gonna really scare you.
I'm worried.
I think so. I'm confident.
I'm genuinely terrified. Like I'm genuinely terrified.
I'm confident. But yeah, Hereditary, I would say try and watch during the daytime. But I'm a bit of a wuss, to be honest. So
No, same. Like I can't play video games that are scary. Like
yeah,
Resident Evil, The Last of Us, which is a very good TV show that has been made.
The Last of Us was that was amazing.
So you watched it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw it last year. Yeah.
As far as video game adaptations go, from like video games to TV or movies, it is one of the best. Like it's really, really good. Yeah. I just don't think they should have chose Pedro Pascal.
Oh, really?
Like, I know a lot of people love him, and he's not. I don't know how to like phrase this because he's not like a terrible actor or anything like that. He's a good actor, but he's not this. In my opinion, he's not the actor that everyone thinks he is.
Okay.
I when I see Pedro Pascal, I'm like, okay, like it's all right. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's how do I pronounce his name? Cillian Murphy. It's not like he's Cillian Murphy. It's not like this is
Wait, why though?
Like
he doesn't have that presence.
Yeah, it's just Pedro Pascal. Can we all relax, please? Like, what's going on? Like, what?
Wait, you don't think he played that role well?
No, either Hugh Jackman or what's his name from Game of Thrones. He was the one that played
not Kit Harington.
No, hell no. He can't even grow the beard. No.
Rob. No, what's his name?
The Lannister.
It's not the Scottish actor, is it?
No, it's the Dane. I think he's Danish or like German. He played Cersei's brother. I can't remember his name now. Hold on.
Oh, I don't remember either.
Game of Thrones, Lannister. Oh, not Tyrion, not Tywin. Jamie Lannister. That's it. The actor who played Jamie Lannister.
Who was the actor?
Is
not Jeremy Flynn.
No, Nicolaj William Costa.
Ah, yeah, I know him.
He looks perfect for Joel. Or Hugh Jackman, in my opinion, would have played it a lot better. And the fact that they aged up Joel by like 10 more years than he already was in the original story, I'm like,
I think though Hugh Jackman would have been. I think people would have just been thinking about. He's been typecast as a Wolverine now. I think at this point,
and I feel like he would have been like. If he had played Joel, it would have been quite similar to his portrayal in Prisoners. I'm not sure if you watched that.
Yeah, I've seen that. That Denis.
Because it kind of has similar themes in it. But yeah.
That was such a good film. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And when they say Pedro Pascal, everyone's like, yeah, Pedro Pascal. And he's been like cast as like Mr. Fantastic for the new Fantastic 4 movie with Marvel. And I'm like, it's all right, but...
Had you seen him in anything before this? Because I actually hadn't.
He was in Narcos, right?
Pedro Pascal. Yeah, I think he was.
But then this is the thing. You barely even remember that. And it's just like...
Yeah,
it's Pedro Pascal. So? Like, why is everyone so gassed? I just don't get it. I really don't. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like a hater, but I just...
He was great, but I think it was Bella Ramsey that stole the series.
She was a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, she was great.
A lot better than I expected. Just because she doesn't look a lot like Ellie. So that kind of swayed me a bit. And I feel like that's kind of the reasons why I don't really prefer Pedro Pascal as Joel. But Bella Ramsey was really good in that portrayal. Really, really good. And they set the whole backstory, because in the games it's different to the TV show, but the whole like first episode of when they show you, they have like that flashback in like the 60s and like, yo, this fungus was this bit like the fungus that they're talking about, the whole cordyceps thing, that's actually a real life thing as well. They're like, if this spreads, it will kill everyone. Like, it's a very crazy virus to have. So I really enjoyed the first episode. I think is it Bill? The two guys, one of them dies of cancer. It's the gay couple. I think it's like episode 3.
Yeah, I loved that one.
That was really, really good, because in the games you don't have like, they allude to it, but you don't see I think it's Bill. You don't see the second guy. Yeah. You only really see Bill. So Bill's the only survivor, and he meets Ellie and Joel, which doesn't happen in the TV show. But I think that was a really good episode as well. Like,
that was a really good, like a standalone kind of story. I loved, one of the actors in it is Australian actually. His name is literally escaped But he is in a series called White Lotus, which have you ever seen?
White Lotus.
Yeah.
Whenever you say that, now I'm just thinking of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Wait,
No.
please tell me you've seen that.
Yeah, I have. I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You scared me there. But okay.
No, I have. That is one I have seen. But
Wait, you mean Chris Hemsworth's brother?
No.
Sorry.
Oh,
mean
how have
Cameron?
I forgotten his name?
Or Theo James.
No, not Theo James. He was in season. Murray Bartlett is his name.
Murray Bartlett.
He's this Aussie actor. Who have you seen this guy? I mean,
I have never. I feel like in the TV show like The Last of Us, that's the only time I've ever seen him before. I've never seen. I haven't seen this TV show either.
Oh my god, yeah, it's wild.
Okay.
It's a wild.
Okay,
TV
you
show.
put me on to
I
like
love
4
it.
different stuff. Okay.
I'm recommending too many things, but yeah. Sorry, let me just finish what I was saying about
No,
Ari
go on.
Aster before. Yeah, so one of the films he released a film last year called Beau is Afraid with Joaquin Phoenix, and you haven't seen that one, have you?
No. I
But
still need to
this-
see Napoleon, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, this was one that I watched in the cinema, and I remember seeing 4 people walk out during the screening of this film. And I can't remember what act it was because the film, it seems like there's like 3 acts in it, just the way that it's structured. And I remember seeing 2 people walk out after Act 1.
That's sad.
Act 1 was a bit mad though. It was like, what the hell is actually going on
What
here?
you mean, like the pacing was off, the story was boring?
Just everything. I feel like it makes you feel like you've taken something while you're watching it.
Oh, okay.
It's very weird
Okay.
what happens in it. It's very whack because Joaquin Phoenix's character is basically like, it starts off with him, like literally the first scene is him talking to his therapist or psychiatrist or whatever, and you quickly realize that he's on medication because he's got some sort of like mental health problem. And then you kind of like watch him. I think he lives in New York, and like he's like heading home from his therapy session, and there's like chaos happening in the streets, but then you realize that it seems like it's some sort of like almost an anarchist society or whatever. Like people are like fighting each other in the streets, and like there's like things being blown up. I don't know, like weird stuff. And then you realize that all of this is probably happening inside his head, and this is how he's seeing things.
Okay.
And you, because like you're viewing things from like his narrative, and he is like this, he's like super paranoid and really anxious, and it really gets into your head, and you start feeling this way, and it's just like a lot of the film doesn't really make sense.
When did this film come out?
Last year, I want to say around May in the UK, it came out.
Interesting. Because I was gonna say, if this was like before 2019, I can understand why he was cast as the Joker. Like, because that sounds very similar. Like,
It does.
very similar elements towards that.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too. I think I've recently seen the trailer for the second part, the second film.
The Joker. Too?
Joker. Yeah. What is it called?
Oh,
It's got some sort of
it's
French.
got some, yeah, it's got some sort of French, but it's Joker and
Holly
Harley.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. With
But
Harley Quinn in it.
The end scene of that trailer when
Yeah.
she draws the lipstick on the glass,
That
and
yeah.
then and he goes into, so it's
That shot is amazing.
this is
isn't
the
it?
thing. This is why you need bad boy directors like Todd
Yeah.
Phillips. You have you're looking at the Joker, right? Joaquin Phoenix character. It goes out of focus. Harley Quinn then draws the lipstick,
Yeah,
the smile with
the
her
smile.
lipstick. Then it goes back to the Joker. He moves towards it and he smiles like that.
And it doesn't even
It's
look that
cinema,
intentional.
right?
Like the way that his mouth is kind of like aligned with
Like
it.
it's not even a perfect smile. It's just
That was good. That is a banging trailer.
This is the
That
thing.
is how you
like,
make a trailer.
and this is why, when it comes to movies and just like, I'm really, really adamant about letting directors do their thing. No, like not enough. Like, hold back on the studio interference.
Yeah. 100%.
Because if they've got a vision, sometimes whether it's good or bad, we just need to see the vision first. Because then, like, you can't interfere with everything. Like, we don't want to see the story that the studios want to tell. We want to see the stories that the directors tell. Otherwise, what is the point of having them?
Yeah, it's true. I feel like these days, though, directors really need to prove themselves. Because if it's someone like, I know I keep talking about Ari Aster, but like
No,
he
cool.
is one example because, you know, A24 kind of did back him up from the beginning, but it was a bit of a risk, and I think they knew it was a risk because it's like, here's this guy that no one's heard of before. He's a horror director, and that's already like a genre that's quite, you know, there's like
there's a horror movie,
a proven way,
year,
yeah, exactly, of like, there's a proven way of doing horror, right? But he obviously has this other concept that like blows it out of the water, right? So they did take a risk on him, but obviously Hereditary was like successful. And Toni Collette's performance was like incredible in it. But then, so I feel like A24 he's kind of established himself as someone whose movies are going to make money and like people are going to watch it. And now with Beau is Afraid, I feel like they gave him a lot of creative freedom with that. Because watching it, I was thinking, this would never have gotten financed. If this was his first film and he was pitching this to the studio, they would never have.
I feel like that's like a really good thing of like why we have like companies like A24, because when I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, even though it's not really it kind of is, it's not an independent film, but it's not like this big blockbuster film, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like a original, I'm not sure if it's an original IP, but it's not a Marvel movie, you know what I mean? Like, it's not something that's going to get you $1 billion, but it is a very, very good film, and I feel like it shows the more creative side that we can have in movies that we don't really see anymore, especially with the rise of like Marvel movies, which I do love. Like, superhero movies are like one of my favorites, but a lot of them nowadays have been quite bad. They've been quite formulaic, which is why when you see the Batman, when you see Joker, they're very different, and it's because you're allowing the director to actually put their vision within these characters in a healthy way, not like a weird Zack Snyder type of way.
It's I just feel like a lot of studios are not willing to take that risk these days, and that's where like they lose out, or like that creativity gets hindered.
It's sad. It's a money thing, and it even happens in animation as well. Like, you see a lot of animated projects being cancelled. There's like a really big one right now. I think it's a Warner Brothers one. I think it's the Roadrunner. Yeah, there was I can't remember the movie's name is, but it's an animated film, like it's like a Looney Tunes animated film by Warner Brothers Studios, and it's just been shelved. Like, they're not going to release it. No one's ever going to see it. They've just counted it as like a tax write-off. And this has been happening a lot. So that happened. There were a couple, I think there was a Scooby-Doo film that was animated as well that was cancelled like last year. There's been a bunch of animated films or TV shows which have just been cancelled. And it's sad because it's a whole like money thing. If they're not seeing the profits, I think even HBO cancelled like a bunch of these black TV shows as well. One by Issa Rae, I think it was called Rap Game or something like that. No,
by Issa Rae, did you say?
Yeah, Rap Shit or Rap Game. I can't remember.
Okay.
I think it's Rap Shit.
Wait, was that commissioned by HBO? And then
yeah, which is...
Why have I not heard of that?
Which is crazy to me because it's Issa Rae. She made Insecure. Like,
I know, I recently started watching that again.
Insecure.
From season one.
I missed that TV show. Yeah, Rap Shit.
Oh, God.
Yeah, by Issa Rae. They just cancelled it.
It's been cancelled.
They cancelled it.
Did they air a pilot? Was there like a pilot that was made and then...
It's been 2 seasons.
Oh, 2 seasons.
Then they cancelled it, I think, last year in like October, November.
Oh,
yeah, so there was like a bunch of TV shows that HBO just cancelled, and people were really, really angry about it because it's like you're not giving these, and it kind of goes back to the whole limited amount of episodes things. They don't want to spend a lot of money on 20 episode seasons anymore because they don't have enough faith in it returning a large profit, which is why some of these TV shows get cancelled after like 1 or 2 or 3 seasons when they could have. When you need to have these audiences, you need to let them grow gradually.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was quite disappointing.
Oh gosh, I didn't realize they'd done that. But yeah, no, it is. I just feel like it's they release like 8 episode 1 hour seasons to kind of as almost like a tester to see like how that show will kind of set off, and then use that as like a measurement to see how good that show is, and then commission a second season. And I feel like that model has been they've been doing that for a long time now.
Do you think streaming has kind of ruined TV and movies?
Good question. I think in a way ruin, I feel like, is a bit of a harsh word. I feel like it's just changed the whole game.
Yeah.
I think there are positives to it in that some of them, Netflix is trying to also commission a lot of like up and coming writers as well.
But they've also cancelled a lot of stuff as well.
They have cancelled a lot of stuff. The streaming business is just something that has completely changed like the whole landscape of the way that people like consume things anyway. So, and I feel a lot of people like to binge stuff and watch things in like small amounts, which is where there's limited series. Like,
I don't know. Do you know what? In the beginning, I loved binging like TV shows and movies and stuff like that. But I feel like now I'm actually more accustomed to watching stuff week to week. Just because I like the interaction that I can have with other people, like social media, like whether it's TikTok, whether it's Twitter or Instagram, and you're just talking like when you have, and I think like this is a really bad business model that Netflix does sometimes, especially with like their own original TV shows. But when you release stuff week to week, you get to build hype and excitement. If you release everything all at once, it just becomes, first of all, you can't escape spoilers, which is just terrible. But then the moment's gone. Like the moment's just gone. It might be, you might hear people talking about your TV show or your movie for a week, but after that, it's like, no one cares anymore. And I don't understand why they do that. It just doesn't make sense for me from a business standpoint, why you would do something like that.
Yeah. I guess I read somewhere or someone had said that Netflix's competition is sleep.
Sleep? Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's what they're competing against. They want you to stay on it. And
fair enough.
But no, to be honest, there's K-dramas aside, because I know that's with a lot of like big popular K-dramas, especially, well, the Netflix ones. They normally release them on like a weekly schedule.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, with a lot of the bigger shows. Some other ones they drop all the episodes, but
the K-dramas have like, apparently I've heard the K-dramas have like other ones that get like 20 episode seasons.
Yeah.
Or sometimes 40.
On average, yeah, those are like the melodramas.
Yeah, that's insane. This is Grey's Anatomy. What?
Most of them
40 episodes of one season, by the way, and there's like 4 different seasons.
My mum will binge those. She loves anything with like big volume, so that she could just watch them. But no, I think most of them have like 16 episodes on average.
Okay.
But normally they're like just over an hour long, so they're quite long.
Yeah.
But in terms of like English language shows, or any other Netflix shows, I rarely see any that come out weekly. But one that I do remember, and you've seen Breaking Bad, right?
I watched it up until season 4.
I told her, don't say this.
Up until season 4. Just because it was like, I mean, like, how much, like, what? We've made meth.
Wow.
Cool. You've
Season
got
4.
your money.
Season 4 is where you had that incredible finale as well.
The thing is, I didn't even see Giancarlo Esposito. That's how I know I didn't get very far. Like, that's how I know I didn't. Because apparently everyone says that, Gus is one of the best TV
He was in
villains of all
season
time.
4 though, I thought.
I don't think I got... So, probably season 3. Probably season 3 then.
That's what I meant. Because if you got to season 4, you would have carried on till the end.
It was just like, yeah, cool. They're making drugs. Someone's gonna die. I don't know. I can't watch drug stuff anymore. I just can't.
How are you reducing it down to
because that's
drugs? It's more than that.
Like Snowfall, Power, Breaking Bad. Okay, cool. We need to move these drugs. We can't do it because the law enforcement's on is the police are coming to try and get us. Okay, cool. We have to stay low. Now there's a new competitor. Okay, cool. We have to come back.
No,
like,
it's more than that. No. But Breaking Bad is more like a character study, though.
And this is the thing. It's apparently one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
Yeah,
that and
I
The
agree.
Wire. I can't watch The Wire. I've watched some clips of it, but it seems too traumatic for me.
I'm not seeing The Wire either. Someone's getting me to watch it.
I can't. Like, one of my friends says it's the best TV show, that and The Sopranos, but I can't watch The Wire. It's that and Euphoria. Those two seem very traumatic.
You haven't seen Euphoria?
Euphoria seems like too much to me. Like,
it is a lot. It's a lot.
Like, a lot.
Yeah.
So nah.
There's a lot to take in.
But Breaking Bad's Maybe I'll give it another shot.
I wonder if you'll like the spin-off show, because that's what I was going to talk about.
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul, yeah.
I've heard about that.
Because that ended last year, season 6. And I was
Didn't they make a
hooked.
movie as well, like El Camino?
Yeah, there was El Camino, which I actually haven't seen, but there's been like another spin-off as well, I feel.
There was like a movie spin-off, but then I think it was about Jesse or something like that.
Yeah,
I think
that one
El
was
Camino.
about Jesse.
But then they did another one with Jesse and Heisenberg, I think. Or maybe that was in like Better Call Saul.
That was in Better Call Saul. That was in the final episodes, and that it ended
like
last year.
Yeah,
it's a prequel, but it's kind of it kind of ends at the point where
Saul meets Jesse and.
Actually, wait.
Because I know I've seen Saul in Breaking Bad. There was this one scene that I can remember. The bodyguard or the private investigator, I can't remember the bald guy.
Oh, Mike, yeah.
Yeah, he follows Saul somewhere. Saul's like, like he's trying to play it off, and then Mike leaves, and then Heisenberg and Jesse come out, and then Saul's freaking out because he's like, you've got my bodyguard following me now. Like, what's going on? So I can't. I think that was in season 3, but that's what I remember from the show.
Yeah, it's So Better Call Saul. Do you know what it's about? You know what it's about?
I just assume he's a lawyer, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically about his evolution because his real name is Jimmy McGill, like James McGill. And he starts off as like someone who's got like good intentions. He wants to become like a great lawyer, but he lives in like the shadow of his brother because his brother's like this high flying lawyer that owns a firm with another partner. And he works at his brother's firm, but his brother's always kept him at like a level where he can't move up. He can't move up, exactly. So he's always been living in his shadow. So it kind of like, it starts off with that relationship with him and his brother, but then the entire series is about his evolution from Jimmy McGill to Saul Goodman. And it is such a satisfying... It's a lot slower than Breaking Bad, the pace-wise. It's a very different show.
How many seasons?
I think it was 6.
Okay.
And I think the last season was split in 2. But that mid-break season cliffhanger, best thing I've seen.
Interesting.
Literally, best thing. I feel like it might even be better than any cliffhanger I saw in Breaking Bad. It was so, like, my jaw literally dropped.
I haven't watched Breaking Bad in a long... I think it was like 2016 maybe. So, like I don't remember much of it. So, which one would you recommend that I watch? Better Call Saul, then Breaking Bad, or Breaking Bad, then Better
Breaking
Call
Bad
Saul?
first, because that's you need, like, the context. Because a lot of the... You need to know who the cartel family are, the Salamancas, because they come into Better Call Saul as well.
Okay.
And also, it gives you context into who Mike is and his ending as well. I mean,
so wait,
I kind of spoiled it there.
No, so Mike shows up in Better Call Saul?
Yeah, Mike is also carries him. Yeah, he shows up in Better Call Saul. Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
It's kind of like 2 shows in one. It kind of focuses on Jimmy's journey in like the legal world and stuff, and then the other side is Mike and how he becomes like, because he starts off as like some parking lot attendant or whatever. He's got like some innocent job.
Yeah.
And then he enters into like the criminal underworld, and then you got like the cartel storyline as well.
Yeah.
So there's so many like storylines in one, and it's done so well. Honestly, you'll be like after season 1, it does take a lot to get used to the way it's directed and the angles and like the pacing. But the script is just so good; it will suck you in.
If Giancarlo Esposito's inside it, I'll watch.
Yeah, he's great in it as well.
Because after seeing The Boys, he's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah,
like he's
great.
Him as
he's so underrated, isn't he?
Yeah, and he was even talking about how he wasn't like, he doesn't make as much as people think he does. I think until Breaking Bad, he was almost going to be homeless. Like he was struggling to pay his rent for his apartment. Breaking Bad is the thing that really helped him push into becoming like this well-known actor and to getting high, like more money as an actor and stuff like that, which is quite surprising because it just kind of shows me that a lot of these actors, a lot of these well-known actors anyway, don't get paid as much as people think they do. So So yeah, that was quite sad to see. But he's a favorite actor of mine. He plays a villain, like a really cunning villain, very very well.
Gus, it was Gus, right? His name. I think to this day one of the scariest villains.
If you haven't watched The Boys, you definitely should.
Yeah, no, that is on my list actually.
Wait, so that was a trick question. So you haven't watched The Boys? That's wild.
I know. I feel like, why am I even on here? I barely watch anything.
The Boys is a good TV show, and he doesn't show up as much, but I feel like the whole less is more thing really applies to him. When he does show up, you feel the presence. He really, has really a
huge presence. Honestly,
it's quite intimidating. I won't lie. So yeah,
he's such a gifted actor, and I do want to see him in more stuff. I know he's in The Gentleman, which is that new Netflix show, or like recently released Netflix show, which I still haven't seen.
I need to start watching more Netflix stuff. I feel like I haven't seen anything. It's just
this
because
one. Everyone's been talking about this one.
Do you know what it is? Netflix. There's too much.
There's a lot.
There's way too much, and sometimes I don't want to even watch it because I'll watch an episode. And I'm like, why did I waste my time watching this? Like Red Notice. There is a very good TV show that I will always stand by. I remember when I was in university, me and my friends watched it. We watched the whole season 1 in like one night. It was insane, and we had lectures at like 9 a.m. lectures the same day. It was crazy. It's called The Sinner.
Was great.
Yeah,
it's Sinner.
The Sinner season 1 and a bit of season 2, but season 1 especially is one of the best psychological thrillers I have ever seen in my entire life.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna add that to my list. I mean, it's already been on my list for such a long time.
Season 1 is amazing. Season 2 is all right. And the rest was a bit boring, but season 1, because it's a different.
I think I know what the premise is. Yeah,
it's the same police officer, but there's a different cast after each one.
Yeah,
but season 1.
In season 1, it's like, what's her name?
Jessica Alba. Not Jessica Alba. Jessica Biel. Yeah.
Married to Justin Timberlake, right?
Yeah.
yeah. And is it about how she kind of stabs someone on the beach and it's like?
This is the thing. That's what you think it's about.
Yeah.
And you're right to think that in the beginning, but the twist.
Okay, you convinced me now.
The twist, and the thing is, you don't even, because each episode you're just thinking, what is going on? But it pulls you in for more. The twist is insane.
Okay, all right.
And also, just before we go, because I know you said you don't watch anime, and that is like the biggest travesty inside the entire world for me. These are 4 animes, 3 or 5 that you need to watch.
Okay.
Since you love thriller, the first one I'm going to recommend is The Promised Neverland, which is also on Netflix, I believe.
Okay, I need to write all this down. Promised Neverland, yeah.
So The Promised Neverland.
Yeah.
I don't even want to give away what it's about, because when you watch the first episode, you will feel it. And The Promised Neverland is one of those animes or animated shows that you can turn into a live action very, very easily. Yeah. Very easily. So The Promised Neverland.
Do you think that's going to happen?
No, because they cancelled after season 2. And I was very disappointed. Like, a lot of what happens sometimes in anime is that you'll have a very good season 1. Then after certain seasons, the animation takes a dip in quality. Maybe because they've changed studios, maybe because they've changed directors. And this happened to this show, and I was heartbroken because we missed out. Like, so the manga is really like expansive and stuff like that. So if they had adapted it properly, we would have had like 5 or 6 seasons. But they stopped after season 2, and they just gave us slideshows at the end. I wanted to cry because I was thinking, what's going on? Yeah, like that's the animation at the end. Like season 2 is terrible. Don't watch season 2, but season 1 is really, really good.
Yeah.
So The Promised Neverland, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Oh my god! For all of my anime,
I feel like I've heard of that one.
Season 2 ended last year.
Yeah.
It was one of the best seasons of an anime I've ever seen in my entire life. Every episode was mad.
Okay, that's a big compliment.
No, like every episode was mad. Like animation wise and just story wise, it was a spectacle to see. So The Promised Neverland, the Jujutsu Kaisen, Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole. What else? What's another good anime for you to watch? Mob Psycho 100.
Mob Psycho 100.
Which I think you'll really like. It's kind of heartfelt, but it's really good. The story is good as well.
Okay.
And Attack on Titan. I feel like you may have already seen that.
I've definitely heard of it.
Attack on Titan is very, very good. Like Attack on Titan is beautifully. it's beautifully made, and the story is really nice as well.
Okay.
Except for the last season. The last season, the artwork is just weird. It's a whole thing. And the last one I will say now anyway is Free Ren.
Free Ren. Okay.
So Frieren. Free Ren is a really good show about this elf who is obviously she's an elf, so they live like a long time. She is like a part of this party of heroes. So it's kind of like, you know how sometimes in TV shows they will show you how these heroes meet each other and they fight the evil monster. It takes place after they defeated the evil monster already. So she kind of, because she's lived for so long, and because like elves live for so long, her perception of time and like just experiences with people is very, how do I say, she doesn't care. Like she'll be like, oh, stuff is a mere 50 years. Like time for her is not really real. So in this show, she's kind of, it's kind of like a more of a heartfelt show, but it is some action to it. It's her just kind of retracing her original path that she took with her friends who have now passed. And she's making new friends, and now she's kind of developing the emotions that I feel like she would have wanted when she originally went out on this path. Like it's a very interesting story. Set with a lot of flashbacks and stuff, but yeah, it's a really good story. So those 5 anime I would recommend.
Okay.
Oh, and Invincible.
Oh man.
But that's a superhero TV show on Amazon Prime. Invincible is really good.
Okay.
The first episode is crazy.
Okay.
So make sure you stay around for the after credits. There's after credits for every single episode of Invincible.
Okay.
I think that one you should watch first. It's easier and it's in English.
And I've got Amazon Prime. Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. Amazing.
Okay, so I have to watch Midsummer and Hereditary.
Wait, I've given you loads of stuff to watch. Wait, Hereditary, Midsummer. I've given you quite. What were the rest?
Annihilation. And I feel like there was one more, but I can't remember what it was.
Definitely Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Okay, those, those two. Okay, so I watch Hereditary, and I watch Better Call Saul. I watch Breaking Bad. Okay.
Yeah, and I know that's too much, but you will love it. Like seriously, especially the cliffhanger season 4.
I trust your judgment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To this day, yeah, one of the best, probably joint best cliffhanger I've seen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, this has been great.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks
guys
for
as well.
inviting me.
So like that's the end of this show. Stay tuned for the next episode where I will be discussing more anime stuff. Hopefully Fadma joins us in future episodes.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Thank you. All right. See you guys later.
All right. Bye.